Hi everybody, in this video we are going to discuss about the taxonomical aids. Okay, taxonomical aids. Now we will discuss about the museums. Okay, we will discuss about the museums. So what are museums? These are biological museums are generally set up in educational institutes. They are like a setup, okay, in educational institutes like schools and colleges. Okay, schools and colleges. So we have to remember the biological museums are a setup, okay, is like a setup in educational institutes, generally in schools and colleges. Okay, schools and colleges will be having what? Museums. Okay, we will be having the museums in schools and colleges. It's like a setup. Okay, now what does these museums contain? Okay, what does these museums contain? Now if you are looking at the previous videos, we studied about the herbarium. Okay, we studied about the herbarium. Okay, and also about botanical gardens. Okay, we also studied about botanical gardens. Then we said that if it is in herbarium, we said that in herbarium there will plant specimens, okay, which are not living, okay, which are not living plants, okay, which are not living plants. They are dried, pressed and preserved in the herbarium, okay, sheets, okay, on the herbarium sheets we studied. So here we are to the main point that we have to remember when we are talking about herbarium is you are dealing with the plant. Okay, we are dealing with the plants which are dead, okay, parts, okay, living parts. Now here if it is in botanical gardens, it is also talking about plants only. Okay, this is also dealing with the plants, but we said that here we are talking about what? Living things or living plants. Okay, we are talking about the living plants. Okay, please remember that. So herbarium is a collection of plants, okay, which are dried, pressed and preserved. But whereas the botanical gardens, these are living plants, okay, containing the living plants. Okay, so we generally call them as botanical parks. Okay, botanical parks we are calling them as. But here in museums, okay, in museums, you know, we call them as biological museums, which are set up generally in educational institutes such as schools and colleges, containing what? Now this is the point, it is having the collection of plant and animal specimens. Here in museums we will be coming across both plant and also animal specimens we will be seeing. So for what purpose we are keeping the plants and animals in the museums? It is for study reference. Please remember, for what purpose we will be keeping the plants and animal specimens in the museums means it is for study purpose. Okay, study purpose or study reference we are calling it as. Okay, study reference we are calling. And now we understood that these museums are there present in the schools and colleges containing the plants and animal specimens. Okay, animal specimens. But the question is that are they in dead form or living form? Please remember, in museums we will be placing the dead forms only, dead parts only, both of the plants and animals. Okay, dead living organisms. And now here the specimens, when you are storing them, okay, when you are preserving them in the museums, okay, the specimens are preserved in containers, okay, big jars or containers we say they will be kept. Okay, these specimens will be kept, both the plant or animal specimens, they will be kept in what? Containers. Okay, they are preserved in containers. Otherwise we are calling them as what? The jars. Okay, they will be kept in jars, big jars with preservative solutions. Okay, with adding preservative solutions. There will be a particular chemical substance which will be added in the form of a solution to keep that particular specimen. And now here we have to remember that plant and animal specimens, okay, plant and animal specimens are also preserved in the form of dry specimens. Please remember, they are also preserved in dry specimens, not only placed in the preservative solutions. Okay, not only placed in the preservative solutions in the liquid, okay, but they are also stored in what form? Dry specimens. So we have to remember that plant and animal specimens are not only preserved in the preservative solutions in jars and containers, but they are also stored in the form of what? Dry specimens. In the form of dry specimens. So for example, if you are taking insects, okay, if you are taking insects, the insects are preserved in insect boxes. Okay, insects are preserved in insect boxes. Say suppose if this is a box, okay, if this is a box, inside this box they will be placing an insect. Okay, they will be placing an insect. Okay, with its stretched body, which is now as it is kept as dried form. Okay, it is a dry specimen now. So this particular insect is placed in the insect box. Okay, insect box, which is collected. Now, what are the steps in preserving the insects? Okay, preserving the insects in insect boxes. First thing is what? We collect them, we kill them, and we are going to pin them. Okay, so here they will be placing pins. Okay, they will be placing pins. Okay, here they will be placing the pins and they will be preserving the particular insect. Okay, they will be preserving the insect. So here there are three steps you have to remember. Okay, you have to remember the three steps. For dry specimens, if you are taking for example insects, they are preserved in the insect boxes. So in order to preserve the insects, what are the steps that we follow? First one is collecting, second one is killing, then the third one is pinning. Okay, we will use the pins and we will stretch its body and keep it in a glass box. Okay, this is how it is done in the museums. Okay, it is done in the museums. Okay, fine. If it is a small animals, we are doing all this. We are placing it in the containers or jars in the preservative solutions, adding preservative solutions, or if it is insects, we are keeping them in the insect boxes. But the question is, if it is a big animal, okay, if it is a big plant or an animal, okay, what do we do? Especially with the animals like a bird or mammals, any mammal. How do they preserve it? How do they preserve it? Now, if you are taking the larger animals, okay, larger animals. Okay, we are talking about now animals, okay, not plants. If you are taking the larger animals, birds like such as what? Such as birds, okay, such as birds and mammals. How do they preserve them? Okay, birds and mammals are also preserved in what form? As in the form of a dry specimen. How is it possible to preserve the birds and the other mammals in the dried form? It is by stuffing. Okay, by stuff and preserve. Means stuffing means what? If there is a bird, they will clean the complete internal part and they will keep cotton. Okay, they will keep cotton. That is called as stuffed. Okay, that is called as stuffed, to bring that particular shape of that particular bird or an animal. So they will be using cotton and filling it inside that particular animal and giving that exact shape of that animal, and they store it with its feathers, beaks, and also their claws. Everything will be there. Okay, so they will be preserving them. So like that, okay, larger animals are preserved. So larger animals such as birds and mammals are stored by stuffing and preserving them. They are stuffed and preserved. They are stuffed and preserved. So that is point we have to remember. And please remember, sometimes you may not, okay, or we cannot store the complete animal. We cannot store the complete animal by stuffing it. By stuffing it, we cannot store it. But how can we store it? We can store it by collecting the animal skeleton. By collection of animal skeletons, okay, they will be storing the particular animal. Means in simple, we can say that their skeletal system will be stored. Okay, their skeletal system will be stored. So these are the points which we should keep in mind when we are discussing about what? The biological museums. Okay, please remember, in museums they also preserve what? The skeletal systems also of different animals. Okay, of different animals. So the next one is zoological parks. Okay, next one is zoological parks. Here, these zoological parks are places where wild animals are kept. Okay, where wild animals are kept in protected environment. Okay, in protected environment. Okay, here they are protected. Okay, they are under human care. Okay, they are under human care. This is a point we have to remember. If these wild animals, if they are there in their natural habitat, doesn't mean that they are in protected environment. Okay, doesn't mean that they are in protected environment, and there may be any danger that may occur to these wild animals. But here we are keeping okay, the animals in the parks, okay, where they are in a protected environment under human care. So let us remember that zoological parks are places where wild animals are kept in protected environment under human care. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of keeping the wild animals under human care in protected environment? What is the purpose for what we have to keep these wild animals? It enables us. The purpose of keeping these wild animals in the zoological parks enable us to learn more about their food habits. Okay, to know about their food habits and their behavior. Please remember this. Why do we keep or maintain zoological parks and keep wild animals in that parks? In order to learn more about their food habits and how they behave. Okay, this is the main point. Okay, please remember, it's a very important point. Okay, it's a very important point. Okay, it enables us to learn about their food habits and behavior. Okay, food habits and behavior. And now animals in zoo. Okay, animals in zoo are provided with the conditions similar to their natural habitats. See here, that's what we said here, protected environment. Under human care, we are saying the wild animals are kept in protected environment under human care. Okay, under human care. But we have to remember that they maintain in that zoological parks the natural habitats. Okay, they maintain the natural habitat. How it has its own habitat in its original form in the forest. Okay, in the same way they maintain the habitat. Habitat means what? The place where it dwells or takes the shelter, food and shelter. So the same natural habitat will be provided for those wild animals. Okay, for those wild animals. So we have to remember that in the zoos, okay, they will not be locked. Okay, they are not kept in like a cage. They are not kept in a room. No, they are not kept in a cage nor in a room. They are not completely closed. They are not kept in any closed rooms or any boundaries. But here, what we are saying here, they are provided with this similar natural habitats. Okay, they are provided with the similar natural habitats, and that's why we are seeing children, they love visiting these parks, which are commonly called as what? Zoos. Okay, which are commonly called as zoos. So children, they love very much. Okay, they show so much of interest to visit the parks, zoological parks, which are commonly called as what? Which are commonly called as the zoos. Okay, which are commonly called as the zoos. So these are the points we should keep in mind when we talk about the zoological parks. So in this video, we studied about the museums and zoological parks. Museums and zoological parks. Thank you so much.